10 ways to cope with imposter syndrome. Successful people being extremely unhappy because somewhere along the way they made success more important than themselves. Just remember, every master was once a disaster. Hello. We are going to be covering 10 ways to cope with imposter syndrome. So, how many of you here have experienced something like this, where in your life you started to do something, but you felt like you're either not deserving of your success or the results that you're getting, or it just doesn't feel legitimate enough? A lot of times as we go about life, there are things that we are doing on the go. We are learning on the go, we are trying different things. So sometimes when we hit success, it makes us feel like, was I even worthy of it? If this is an issue you've had today, I'm going to cover 10 different ways, or rather 10 steps that you can take to feel more worthy or feel more deserving of your success. Okay, let's get started. The first one I want to speak to you about is recognizing that you are not alone. This is very important, that what, sometimes we feel when we look at other people that, wow, they are so much in what do you call that, in control of what's happening in their life. What we don't see is the behind the scenes. Like, so many times I literally tell my tribe that, I wish you could see the chaos I work in behind the scenes, or I wish I could show you the how shabby success is for most people. I remember I had gone for a Indra Nui talk, and she spoke about the madness in her methodology, or just being flexible within the framework. All of these concepts are to let you know that, what, you are not alone. All of us at some point are winging it, and as we go about doing that, there are days when it just doesn't feel like, if we are capable or if we are deserving. If you are having that feeling, just start to know that you are not alone. The minute you accept that itself, it makes us feel a little better on the journey, isn't it? Number two, start to identify your triggers of self doubt. There are things, there are topics, when I speak about them, I am so comfortable. You ask me anything on manifestation, law of attraction, I know I speak like an expert. But when people ask me doubts or questions around parenting, I always feel, a little lesser, because I'm also doing and trying till now with both my boys, right? So it always feels like I don't have any learned certification on that. I don't know if I have the authority to speak on parenting. Yet I have so many people in my tribe, women in my tribe, who want to know how I parent. So I share all of what I say, but there is a part of me from within that keeps on wondering if it's okay. And I normally, what I do to get over my imposter syndrome is I express it. So I always say this, that look, this is not my topic of expertise, yet because you have asked me, let me tell you what my answer is and see if it suits you. And it definitely calms my nerves when I put a disclaimer like that, because I feel like, what, if that's a topic that's out of your range or out of what you feel comfortable talking about, and yet you do want to give your opinion because you do have an experience, there's no harm in that. But if you are in a topic that you want to master or have authority on, or you want to be an expert in, my suggestion, just keep studying. I always say this, that when you are in third grade, you can teach first grade, and when you are in fifth grade, you can teach third grade. We don't have to be a PhD to get started, true or not? So if each one of us can just go, what, I am better than someone in this world, and that person I can serve today, and just focus on serving the people who don't have enough understanding in that topic or in that whatever you're covering. Just know that that's all you need to do. Just help the one that knows a little lesser than you, keep learning from the one that knows a little more than you, and sooner than later you will reach the top of the ladder. Yeah. Third thing that you can do as you go on this journey of trying to break your imposter syndrome is talk to someone. For the first 3 years back, I'm almost covered a decade in life coaching now. But back in 2010, 2011, when I had just gotten started, I would take clients on, and then I would have my own coach that I would discuss these clients story around and get his opinion, give my opinion, and come up with a plan for them. And I would share with them that, you know what, I'm working with my coach also to go on a beautiful journey with you, so that I can give you both the perspectives, so that you can decide what's the right answer for you, and even include them in that whole conversation if I need to. So another thing that I've noticed is, have someone who can reconfirm your opinions or your suggestions, or you can have someone on who you can throw your doubt on, and they will help you clear it. So I had a coach for 3 years. His name was Sean Smith. He was amazing, who would, guide me at every step of the way. Because I would say, what if I'm not capable? What if no Buddha is sitting inside? He would say, Puja, there's a golden Buddha inside if you let it come out. And I say, what if it's not a Buddha? What if it's a devil that comes out? What if? And he was like, just relax, deep breathe, and go do the work. If is your intention nice? I would say yes. Are you wanting to serve? I would say yes. He said, then just go do it, because otherwise this devil voice will take over, and that's what you don't want to do. So have someone who believes in you a little more than what you believe in yourself, especially in the beginning, because that really helps clearing imposter syndrome. Number 4, keep a record of your accomplishments. Right in the beginning, every sweet message mattered, every certification mattered, every publication mattered, me just launching my website mattered. Those small things accumulated for me to start to feel stronger in my achievements. I mean, today, I don't even think anybody cares to know what all I have studied. But right in the beginning, I would say, you know what, here I flew to America to do this course. I went to London, I went to Singapore, I went to Dubai, I went to, wherever I went in the world, because at that point I was depending my confidence on all of my chota achievements that I had collected. So my suggestion to you is, every single evening, keep what I call the victory log. The victory log is just you writing down every evening 3 things that you feel you did well on that day. And as you keep doing this, you will start to see the voice of the imposter syndrome settling down, because now your mind is focused on what you did right rather than what you did wrong. Yeah. Another thing that you can do, number 5, is accept constructive feedback. What happens a lot of times is, when our imposter syndrome voice is really loud and we are feeling like we are not deserving, sometimes we get even little feedback, and that throws us totally off track. Because it's like, almost like your imposter syndrome got a reconfirmation that what it was thinking was absolutely right. So let's say I already have doubt whether I can help this group of women on, let's say, image. And then one of the women at the end of the course comes and says, you know what, Pooja, I didn't think your course was that great. I'm just giving you a random example. So what will that do? That will reconfirm. So what I would rather do is, I would ask her, so what about the course you did not feel connected to? And she said, oh, okay, but you know what, this part was the part. I said, okay, fine, and what do you think I can do differently because of that? And what I've noticed is, whether you take the feedback or not, when you honor someone's courage for giving you feedback, and you live with it, and you try it out, you experiment with it, and you see whether it was just their opinion or does it actually universally work for you, then you start to get more and more confident. Because remember, we are never going to get it perfect. And that leads me to my point number 6, where I want to say, embrace your imperfections. 80% is good enough. I'm a recovering perfectionist, and I would at one point not launch anything because I wouldn't have my logo right, I didn't have my presentations right, I didn't like the colors, I don't like the way I look, I don't like this, I don't like that. And my that inside voice would just kill me over getting everything to being so good, so amazing. While what I didn't realize was that perfectionists are just cowards hiding behind high standards. Once I realized that that's what was happening, that I'm never going to feel good enough, I'm just going to have to work with 70%, 80% as my standard. Once I realized that, what I started to do, I would sell my courses first and create them later, because the pressure of having already sold them would make me actually go into the zone of what I call genius portal, because now I have to deliver, I don't have a choice, and then all of the material would just come from some sort of a download from above. And I've noticed that a lot of times we are blocked because we are going on delaying. So embracing your imperfections is one of the most beautiful ways to master your imposter syndromes, because all you need to tell yourself is, I'm not perfect, I'm not the best, but you know what, I am trying and doing my best. Until the time I'm doing my best, I don't need to compare myself to anybody. I don't need to prove myself to anybody. I know I'm serving the world and I can see that it's helping the world, and that's all. If you can stick to that for some time, till you reach a point where you start to feel established and you start to feel like, yes, now I'm building something worthy. Number 7, celebrate the small successes that come on the way. For all of you here who are masters in goal setting, one of the thing I'll tell you about goals is that we set very extended goals, which means, want to lose 20 kilos, want to start earning $1 million, want to own a home with 4 bedrooms, want to. So goals are massive, which is good. I love for all of us to dream big, but we have to learn to start small. And when you start small, when you have that, you know incremental, small little successes, when you celebrate those, that's when you actually start to grow in your own self-worth, and your ability to cope with your imposter syndrome becomes so much easier. So look at those small milestones every month. At the end of the month, make a list of at least 10 things that you are proud of that you achieved this month. Now they may look very small. Maybe you just got your first client. Maybe you got accepted to come and speak for free in a group of 250 people. Maybe you managed to get your photographs done. I don't know what it is that you would have achieved, but look at that entire list, and instead of going, this is nowhere. Because remember, one thing I'll tell you about business that I've understood, or one thing what I've understood about life is, goals achieved are just goals upgraded. What does that mean? The minute we touch a goal, instead of celebrating that goal, we just upgrade that goal. I landed up buying my Maruti. Now I want a, Camry. I landed up buying my Camry. Now I want a Mercedes. And before even, celebrating that we got the Camry, we've already decided we want a Mercedes. So the way the dopamine in our brain works is that it wants more. And God made us have that trigger in our mind so that we can keep wanting more. But the problem with wanting more all the time is that we forget to celebrate and know that actually this too is enough. If we can start to get content with our present and start to get ambitious about our future, that combination works very, very beautifully. All right, having said that, next is avoid comparisons. So number 8 is avoid comparisons. I love this sentence. I don't know who said it, but I'd heard it saying, do not compare your first chapter to my 10th chapter. And I think this is so important, because sometimes we will see Oprah Winfrey, or I'll see Marie Folio, or I'll see Mother Teresa, and I go, wow, what beautiful communities these women have built and how amazing they are. But they have been in the business for 40 years. They have been they've had opportunities that are yet to come my way. And so easily we can compare and criticize ourselves. Remember, comparison is one of the easiest ways to build inside of ourselves a worry which has no sense in it. So see if you can start to just go, you know what? One of the things I've learned over my life is that I've started to call myself a tortoise. A tortoise, let me show you, I have it right here. So a tortoise is basically for me a symbol to get out of the race and follow my own divine speed. And I feel like that has really helped me settle down in my life, because what it's done is that, now anytime I start to rush something, I go back into centering myself and saying that, you know what, I'm not in a race. Every flower will bloom at its own perfect time. Right now, it may be the opportunity for them to bloom. I know my opportunity will come for me to bloom. But till then, I'm going to enjoy and celebrate their success and send them blessings. I'm not going to let myself get jealous or any of those emotions that we get when we compare. I'm going to sit in my own energy and know that whenever I reach there, it'll be very worth it for me, for I would have done everything so beautifully at my own speed with a lot of joy. Because to me, these are the most important aspects. My success means nothing to me if it did not carry peace and joy in it. If at the end of the day I'm not going to be peaceful, I'm not going to be joyful, but I'm extremely successful, I think we have too many examples right now in the world where that already exists, where we see rich people being, or successful people being extremely unhappy because somewhere along the way they made success more important than themselves. So I think it's very important to remember that. Number 9, focus on your purpose or mission. I think a lot of times when we are feeling this imposter syndrome is because we are too focused on the current now rather than where we are going. So imagine you have this beautiful destination. Let's say today you decided that you wanted to go to America. I'm just taking a random example, but you want to go to America. And on the way to the airport, there's a detour. Will you just leave the detour or say, you know what, oh my god, there's an obstacle on the way, let me just go back home? No, right? Because the journey is much more than that. So you'll take the detour, you'll do what it takes, you'll reach the airport. Let's say the flight is delayed by 10 hours, you'll wait there, because the purpose or the mission of this trip or the travel is so much greater than you just getting one problem and feeling like, oh, this is not working, and you retreating. True. So I feel like whenever our higher purpose, whenever we are aligned with our big why, it becomes very easy to calm down the voice of the imposter syndrome, because the journey is so much greater than the current voice that is trying to pull you down, right? And last but not the least, for the fun of it, my point number 10 is, just remember, every master was once a disaster. So I always say this, that if you don't look back at your new material which you did at the beginning of your journey and laugh, you started too late. I always speak about Karishma Kapoor and say, you know what, if she doesn't look at her movie, I think it was called Prem Kaidi, and feel embarrassed about how she looked versus when she came in Raja Hindustani, she started too late. I want you to laugh at I look at some of my videos right in the beginning in 2010, 2011, and I go, oh my God, like seriously, the audio quality, the video quality, what I'm saying, how I'm saying, I don't really like it. But you know what? Today I can look back and laugh at it, because I know that, you know what? It was all of those collection of bad videos that made me so good eventually. So for you, if you are going through the period of bad right now, just know it's hard till it gets easy, and a day will come where you will smile and say, you know what, I'm so proud that I did that, because there's no way you can reach here without going through that. True or not? So I really hope these 10 points help you. You know what, at the end of the day, it's all about being in service. And when you are here to help, to give to others, no matter what that inner voice keeps troubling you with, keep the spotlight on the person you're serving instead of the spotlight on yourself, and you'll be just fine, my sweethearts. I hope this podcast was useful, and if it was, don't forget to share it with friends and family that you think will benefit from it. All right, on that note, I'm going to say a big bye. Ciao.